Good evening and welcome to Sunday Bulletin. I am Patricia Luba. Tonight we begin with the declared results from the concluded FCT Area Council elections as President Bola Tinubu congratulates winners of the election in the FCT, Kano and Rivers states. Also, we will give you an insight from the pulpit and trending stories from the world of sports. Do stay with us. I'll be back in a moment. Well, poor internet access, a lack of reliable network services, and bad road conditions significantly delayed the early submission and announcement of the results in Kuje Area Council. Our correspondent, Sarafina Okon, reports that electoral officers initially deployed to Kabi Ward 5 as of 4 p.m. on Saturday had to be rescued by security operatives due to logistical challenges. They were subsequently remobilized to the ward by 5 a.m. on Sunday to complete the collation process as an uncredible election.
Despite the setbacks recorded in some hard-to-reach areas, the collation of results eventually resumed under tight security. As results began to trickle in at the collation center, some party agents raised objections alleging incidents of overvoting and manual accreditation in certain polling units. They called for cancellation of affected results, insisting that due process must be followed. However, electoral officials maintained that all complaints were duly noted and addressed in line with the electoral guidelines.
Q002 and 011, all in Kuni village, use manual accreditation for voting.
While results had earlier been declared in 5 area councils across the FCT, Kuje's announcement was delayed due to logistical and network challenges, particularly remote communities like Kapi Ward 5.
That Danjuma Samuel Shikolo of APC
Electoral officials maintained that all complaints were duly noted and addressed in line with the electoral guidelines.
Q002 village used manual accreditation for voting.
While results had earlier been declared in 5 area councils across the FCT, Kuje's announcement was delayed due to logistical and network challenges, particularly remote communities like Kapi Ward 5.
that Danjuma Samuel the requirements of the law is hereby declared the winner and is returned elected.
Kuje has a total of 148,286 registered voters. In the final tally, the PDP secured 15,824 votes, while the APC polled 17,269 votes. The returning officer Nkiruka Odo thereafter declared Danjuma.
Our duty is to serve the people of Nigeria.
The announcement sparked widespread jubilations across the streets of Kuje as supporters celebrated the victory.
Abubakar Umar Abdullahi of the All Progressives Congress APC has been declared winner and returned elected as chairman of Abuja Area Council, having polled a total of 15,500. 35 votes to defeat his opponent. Returning officer of Abuja
535 votes. YPP candidate Mohammed Angululoko had 5,547 votes, while PDP chairmanship candidate Dr. Biliaminu Musa Sokodabo polled 4,547 votes.
That Umar Abubakar Abdullahi of ATC, having satisfied the requirements of the law, is hereby declared the winner and is returned elected.
Winner of the election and incumbent chairman of Abaji Area Council, Abubakar Umar Abdullahi, thanked the people of his area council for giving him another opportunity to serve them and promised to justify the confidence reposed in him.
In this first tenure, I promise that I will build a standard PSC, which, to the special grace of God, the project is at 98% completion. There is a standard ICT center that I'm building. That, again, is at the 70% completion. So God knows that I have a good intention for the good people of Abuja Area Council. That is why God answered their own prayers.
We really appreciate what we saw, because it's a normal thing in politics that we have appear and we give a good fight. So we did this. You understand that it is not a do or die affair. And thank God we did not lose any life in the process of this election.
Party agents present at the collation center signed the results.
Moving on, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has declared Christopher Maikalangu of the All Progressives Congress, APC, as the elected chairman of the Abuja Municipal Area Council, AMAC. The coalition officer for AMAC, Prof. AMAC chairman, was returned elected, having scored the highest number of votes cast, 40,295 out of the total number of valid votes of 62,861 in the election. The African Democratic Party, Congress ADC, comes second with 12,109 votes, while the People's Democratic Party, PDP, pooled 3,398 votes. According to the rejected votes, is 2,336, and total valid votes is 62,861, while the total votes cast is 65,197. He added that the number of registered voters in AMAC was 837,338, while the total number of accredited voters was 65,676. The score of the 12 political parties and their candidates that contested the AMAC chairmanship election are Agbon Vanya of the Accord, A, 403 votes. Neme Beka Tumo Masiam of the Action Alliance, AA, 108 votes. Paul Ogidi of African Democratic Congress, ADC, 12,109 votes. Richard Elizabeth of the Action Democratic Party, ADP, 588 votes. Maikalangu of the All Progressives Congress, APC, 40,295 votes. Eze Chukwu of the All Progressives Grand Alliance, ABGA, 1,111 votes. Chukwu Promise of the Allied People's Movement, APM, 127 votes. Ugo Michael of the Action People's Party, APP, 32 votes. Thomas Happiness of the Boot Party, BP, 43 votes. Jibrin Al-Hassan of the New Nigerian People's Party, NNPP, 1,694 votes. Samson Osani of the National Rescue Movement, 73 votes. Then Tani Zanda of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, 3,398 votes. Iba Chimakaha of the PRP, 90 votes. Simon Obinna of the Social Democratic Party, 2,185 votes. Madaki Robert of the Young Progressives Party, 421 votes, and Swani Buba of the Zenith Labour Party, 189 votes. All right. Moving on, going to the President's congratulatory message to the winners of the election. President Bola Tinubu has congratulated the winners of Saturday's elections in the Federal Capital Territory and the states of Kano and Rivers States. INEC concluded elections in the 6 area councils of the FCT and by-elections in the Ohada East 2 and Kana 2 state constituencies of River States, as well as in the Kano Municipal and Ungogo constituencies in Kano State. In a statement by the Senior Advisor of Information Strategy, Bayo Ononuga, the President urges the winners to serve with humility, patriotism, and dedication, and to view the mandate given to them by the people as a sacred trust. He commended the FCT Minister, Nyesom Wike, for his remarkable achievements in the territory, which have yielded political dividends to the governing All Progressives Congress, APC. The President also congratulated the APC national leadership, Kano and Rivers leaderships, and all members of the party on the victories at the polls. President Tinubu lauded the Independent National Electoral Commission, security agencies, and voters for the peaceful and successful conduct of the elections. He further commends the courage and discipline displayed by all the contestants, stating that democracy is enriched with the vibrancy of participation and competition. President Tinubu affirms that the successful conduct of the elections further strengthens democratic culture and institutions, and calls on INEC to continue in providing import of its efforts to deliver even more exemplary electoral processes. And moving on now, we're going to have our guest, which is joining me to share more light on the concluded FCT Area Council's election. We have a political observer by name Faith Nwadishi. You are welcome to the program today.
Thank you very much for having me. Good evening.
You're welcome. Thank you. So we'll go straight to the issue of the day. I would like to begin by, if you can help us talk about your assessment of the entire exercise in the FCT, the Area Council elections.
Okay, so the FCT election was fairly fair, with a little bit of skirmishes here and there, but didn't really disrupt the entire process itself. The turnout was not too encouraging, and because if you look at the percentage of people who turned out, it wasn't really too encouraging. Especially if you look at, I think it's the Eda Kwali local government area council, where the margin of win was just about 1,400. You can imagine if people had come out, you know. But I must commend INEC. INEC did very well. They had challenges in deployment, early deployment, but along the line, everything went very well. The beavers worked perfectly. The problem is that there was an improvement on the beavers. We saw that happening. They were not just uploading results, but they had an e-form result sheet in the beavers that you have to impute the results. And it was quite seamless. I just want to congratulate them. And also commend highly the security agencies. The coordination and synergy was something else, unlike what we had seen before. And of course, the media. I must give you kudos for the reportage during this period.
So we would like to talk about the fact that you are a political observer, and moving forward, what do you think should be the needs that will improve upon strengthening these democratic processes that we've started? You've said well about what has happened, but what do you think can strengthen it the more?
Okay, so I am actually an independent observer because I work with the civil society and not a political observer. So from what we have observed, what we need to do is to strengthen all of the good wins we have had in this election. Because whether we like it or not, people describe this election as a local election, but it has a lot to do with the forthcoming election. We have two more elections, Osun and Ekiti, and we have the 2027 election that is coming. We only ask that all the stakeholders along the electoral value chain should do their best to ensure that people come out. Number one, LOA should strengthen its voter education. I mean, the political class also should do more. We're still seeing invalid votes because people are not properly educated on how to thumbprint, and that's why you see all of those invalid votes. The politicians should do what they have to do because at the end of the day, they are the ones. But most importantly, citizens should understand that there's no amount of money that is worth that power of their vote. It's quite unfortunate the things we saw yesterday on the field. We hope that going forward, people will know that it is their responsibility. And people, you don't have to get paid to carry out your responsibility. So these are the things we need to do. We need INEC to continue on the trajectory of success. We need the security agencies to do better what they have done in this last election. And of course, the media, civil society, everybody should roll up their sleeves, learn from the lessons from this election, and ensure that we put them into the next elections that are coming.
Okay. Maybe I would like to talk about your appeal. Definitely, the election, we had those that have won and those that have not made it. So what will be your appeal to both parties?
My appeal to those who have won is that they should, just like the message that came from the president, they should be magnanimous in their winning and ensure that they reach out to the people. The local government is the closest form of governance to the people. Deliver, don't disappoint the people. Let them understand that they have voted you because you have something to do. We had the Abuja chairman, the one that was just elected, he said in his first tenure there was something he was doing, almost 92% completed. So we hope that during this tenure you will go complete that and let the people at the grassroots level feel that they have governance at that level. People are complaining, no water, no road, and all of that. Please, let us do that. And for those who have lost the election, stretch out your hands and support those who have won the election. Because at the end of the day, it's for the FCT to develop, it's for the rural communities to develop, and for everybody to feel that there's governance at the local level that will help improve their lot.
Thank you very much. I think we would like to take you over on that. And like you said, it's a kind of joint venture. We should all join hands to move forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having me.
And that was a political observer, Faith Nwadishi. Thank you for being part of it. So see you later. Now we'll move on to our next report on this. Yeah, but we'll take a short break and I'll be back in a moment. Thank you.
Good evening. Glad to have you join us.
Thanks for joining us on Weekly News Wrap.
Thank you very much for having me.
To today's edition of the program, I will celebrate creativity, lasting impressions.
There's no book stating that this is the role for men.
On the news.
On the news at 7.
The station NTA Channel 5, Abuja, would say have a lovely day.
That the resolutions and commitments made during the Bagi Youth FCT Abuja conference held in January 2026 have started to yield measurable and undeniable results. The socio-cultural group says out of the recently concluded FCT Area Council election stands as a clear testimony to the unity, political awareness and coordinated participation of Bagi youths and other young people across the Federal Capital Territory. The election results they maintain reflect the growing influence, organization and civic responsibility demonstrated during and after the historic conference. The Treasure Group urges winners to be magnanimous in victory as it commends the FCT youth for their peaceful participation, maturity, and democratic engagement throughout the electoral process. In a press statement signed by its both chairman, Ambassador Ayuba Jacob Mbako, and the president, Comrade Nuhu Dodondawa, the group appreciated the Minister of the FCT, Nyeso Wike, for providing a conducive atmosphere and necessary logistical support that enabled the conduct of a free, fair, and credible election. His commitment to democratic order and electoral transparency in the FCT has further strengthened public confidence in governance within the territory. Groups and organizations such as the Bagi Youth Association FCT Abuja played a decisive role in mobilizing, sensitizing, and harnessing voters across communities on the need to vote for the All Progressive Congress, APC, in order to ensure that those in power align with the ideology and renewed hope agenda of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and to strategically prepare the ground for the 2027 presidential election and Tinubu 2027 project. The Bagi Youth FCT Abuja remains committed in advancing the renewed hope agenda within the FCT. And away from politics, now to the activities of religion. Across the worshippers across the Federal Capital Territory have been urged to deepen their faith and remain steadfast in their Christian work, and to stay committed to purposeful living. And the charge that came during a Sunday service at the various churches where ministers delivered inspiring and soul-lifting messages centered on grace, resilience, and spiritual responsibility. And in this report, Rosemary Meltonham captures highlights of the exhortation.
At the Church of Christ in all nations, the presiding pastor reminded congregants that God's grace remains ever present.
Today's Sunday magazine, gently close. We hope we are able to give you some insights and speak to your hearts to strengthen your spirit. Join us again next week for another captivating and interesting package. I am Patricia A. Semiluba. Until then, Sunday Magazine will come your way again. Thank you.
اللهم اجعلنا من عتقاء شهر رمضان.
The glorious month of Ramadan is here once again, and your darling program Sahur Life on NTA is back bigger and better. Our team of erudite scholars are ready to provide insightful analysis into the religion, the Nasiha, Din and Dunya, women angle, living with the glorious